Hello everyone. I'm back again for another video, but this is going to be for Python automation. I'm using Python in this environment to automate some tasks. I'm leveraging the NetMiko library, the request, not on this video, but you on this specific lab you have nodes. Build this lab with a jump, and I have access to um, access switches, which are named SWA and SWB. I have access to devices core A, core C, and core B. Um, Basically, accessing all these devices through this jump right here, this switch that connects to an external node, external node that or external connector that allows me to administer this lab. Now I'm using this Linux distribution, which is this is a Ubuntu distribution in order to administer this lab. I'm using 20.04 Fossa, but you can use any distribution you're interested in using or you're familiar with. All you got to do is download the or install the PowerMiko NetMiko library, and have Python 3.8 at a minimum to do, or not necessarily, but have Python on your install on your Linux distribution. So in here, I'm in this specific folder. Let me see, and I've written two functions. I mean, two scripts to do this, two Python scripts. The first one is to get address from a CSV file. The CSV file is this file, practice underscore dictionary, and then in here I'm saving my show command output, and this is the actual script. So let's go over the scripts and what they do. So I'm leveraging the CSV module and its methods to read a CSV file called practice dict, and this file is read for host name, and it would return an IP address, and if there is an IP address, you'll return. If not, you'll return host name. Okay, host name would be a string, okay, an empty value. And my script that I wrote to administer the network is leveraging JSON, CSV. I'm not using the regex library nor the operator library. I do leverage NetMiko and PowerMiko, have error handling here, the time library if I need it, and obviously I'm importing my get address script that I wrote in order to read and parse this CSV file. Now in the script, basically the user is asked to enter a host name that would be read from the CSV file. So it would be the host name itself, not an IP address, but the host name, and through the host name you return an IP address. This next line will run my function that would return the IP address for a host name, and if there's no IP address in the, it can't find the host name, it will return this host name, and that will be installed into this IP with this conditional statement, which is an if that will print this will be host name is not in the list, right? Or else if he exists, it will put this value on their host. It will map this value to host, and you have a dictionary here that would be leveraged within the NetMiko. The NetMiko module will leverage this dictionary with a username Cisco, password Cisco, device type Cisco iOS, and secret enable Cisco. And here I have a config file that would be used to send my config later on. Now I'm using the try and accept and else module is for error handling. it's necessary within a Python script to do a good job with error handling. And I'm not going to be talking about error handling in this video, but NetMiko method, the connect handler, will leverage this dictionary in order to access the device, and then if it's unable, obviously you have error handling, and you have and then you'll try to find the prompt, which is not necessarily, but I like to find the prompt. This is a function that is layer find prompt, that is leveraged a NetMiko function. And then next, the user would be the user would, oh, actually, let me go back. Then you have the net connect enable. This is just in case that I'm not set up for pre-15, then the enable password would be leveraged from this dictionary, and you'll still be able to find the prompt once you access it. The device will be accessed. And if the device isn't, obviously I have error handling for in case you can get to the enable, right? Now this is where let me see, the user is asked to enter configure or a show. Okay, I'm stripping this spaces so that I get just a show and a configure with no space. And then I have a conditional statement that says, hey, if it's configured, then you do this action, right? Use this file that has a configuration configuration lines to be sent to the device, right? And then print the output. The output will be print on the command prompt here, or the CLI. And then I have obviously error handling again, and let's move on to the elif. Now if it's a show, then you're doing a send command, right? Send a command expect. The show command will be captured through the text to search, and you may leverage the you will leverage the text FSM, which is a great parser to put the output into a JSON dictionary key pair value. And then in here, if it was a show command, the show command will be put inside the momentary config file, and for each item in output, now we'll do an if for the error handling. If the length is 1, so I only have an element, you break, and then if it's an else, then you print the element, okay, and you write the this is going to separate. This is just to make the file prettier, so ignore this part. Now for key in I, meaning for the keys that for each key, like for example, for a key, print this value, right? For a key, print this value, right? And then you print this for this pound 40 times, and all this will be shown. And I will, once I do, I run the Python script, you understand what this is, the purpose of it. But what you should care about is this for loop here, okay? Well, anyways, let's let me see. Okay, perfect. So what I'll do is we'll make sure that those devices are reachable. Let me get I think this is on the practice dictionary. Okay, now let me ping these devices quickly to make sure that, oh, oops, that I still have access to the to this element from here. Okay, that's good. 20, that was 30. Did I do 25? Okay, good. 28, good. 29, good. Okay, 40, excellent. And then 39. Okay. All right. Let's clear the screen, and hopefully you guys can see the top, because I'm running out of space. So now let's do a basic show command. Let's do let's run my script. Okay, now mask for host name core A, which is one of the device within the CSV and that exists on my lab. We're going to start with a show command, and then let's do a show IP interface and exclude the unassigned. Now you can see that on here it wrote it into a dictionary key pair value, right? You have the first element, second element, third element, and fourth, and so on. But let me see. Let's cat the or nano. Let's see the actual momentary config file, and you have your interface, your IP address, your status. So basically the TextFSM module went ahead and pretty up, you know, I mean, put the output into something readable, right? And then obviously this is something that I did in order to separate each value and make it much more presentable and readable for myself. You can do anything you want with Python as long as you have the ability and you have a certain understanding of what you're doing with Python. And then we can do a config. In here I have a file just for config. Let me see what I have in here. So let's see if this interface exists. The nice thing about this is that hold on one second. Let's run this again. Core A. Let's see quickly. See, you can see that loopback 2000 didn't exist earlier, right? I only had loopback 0, so we're going to create a loopback using configure. Loopback 2000. Okay, you can see here on the CLI that it was created on the Linux terminal that it was created. But let's query the device using this Python script and see using the show option, show IP interface brief. Oops, sorry, the show option, show IP interface brief. Then we're going to exclude unassigned. Now let's see, let me clear the screen quickly. Let's see, there we go. Now you have a VLAN, an interface loopback 2000 with an IP address. I think the only thing that I may have missed out of this, I should have included a net mask, the network mask or subnet mask, which is quite important. Let me see within my, I would suggest to do so. So let me see, let me so within my script, it's something that I may not have included. Okay, let me see. So yeah, so basically this if and else, obviously if the length is less than, it has only, basically what this means is it's got only one element, and you print the output and you break out because you don't want the for loop to go on. There's no element, you would just fail, right? And then here, you're printing the element initially. This is why it was printed on the screen. Let me scroll up so you can see how far can I go up. It doesn't look like I can go any further up. Yeah, I forgot I cleared the screen, but I'll show that you can go back a video. You had the dictionary being printed, and then here you print a pound, then return, and then you start for each of the keys, right? In the dictionary, in a key pair value, you write the key and its value, right? You write a key and its value, and then you print it off. Okay, that's pretty much what this is doing. Okay. and then obviously we got some error handling, and then you're saving the configuration and dictionary. So that's pretty much everything. If you guys are interested, I think Python is a great tool to automate the network. Obviously there are other tools that can be utilized in order to do this. There are other library like Nornir is pretty new, which I started looking into and getting familiar with. But that's about it. Thank you for watching.